Hey guys, it's me again, and I am back again with the final game of RY versus LSB. It's 1-1. We know LSB win, and we know RY lose. That being said, a few things, right? So these are takeaways from game 1, and I'll just put a little space here. These are the takeaways from game 2. Zero and Luna looked pretty bad in game 1. Game 2 they looked okay, and pretty good actually. Kiri was really carrying out of his mind in game 1, but in game 2, he was just kind of average. 3, the poke versus dive comps, and neither team really played either, which I kind of get into here with my point 5. Don't play Jhin. I'm gonna bash the team call from LSB. Blitzcrank's a neat idea, but if you have that squishy of a backline with light mobility, you run into some problems. RY communication, it still seems to be a little off. There were Jhin Zhao knockbacks in a Ziggle, it doesn't, it seems weird, it seems like it might be intentional, but it's hard to tell. And obviously, they, in LSB, just kind of lost the game because they died early and didn't take any map objectives. So yeah. Pretty standard bans for what we've seen. The Senna did go through last game. I guess they just don't want to give it over to RY. But we've seen the set, the Mastery. The Garen didn't get banned out last game, but there's these are pretty standard bans for what we expect. I think the Varus has been banned every time. I think the Camille's been banned almost every time. Yeah. But that does float the Karma. So LSB will take that. And it looks like they're going to give RY the Ziggs. I think our Zero looked really good on the Ziggs. It might be a mistake to give that to him. And Ziggs is just so good at controlling space and pushing objective that I don't know if you want to give them the ability to do that. Yeah. Ooh, we're going to see the Galio lock-in. So this is I really like this actually. Right, cause you can flex Ziggs bot lane, you can also flex Galio mid lane, or support, and I think that's really good. I've criticized teams multiple times for picking Lulu too early. Galio's a good support. He works well in the mid lane as well. There's really nowhere that you can I think it's probably gonna end up being Ziggs mid Galio bot. But it could very easily end up being Ziggs Galio bot with a heavy AP lean and a big heavy 80 mid laner like the Jayce, or a Riven. It could also be a lean where you put the Galio bot just to get more CC, or you throw the Galio mid if they leave open a support that you want to take. Then you put the Ziggs bot. So there's definitely a lot of options here. And I think that I like this pick a lot because, like I said, I'm a big fan of, if you're on the red side, you have the ability to go flexibility in the draft, right? You have the ability to, say, take the, right, you have the ability to be flexible and counter pick. So the more options you leave yourself later in the draft, the better you can pivot if your opponent picks something that would be a good matchup into your composition. So, if they do pick, the Lulu Jinx or something, or not the Lulu, Lulu Jinx. I don't know what I was thinking. Right, if they do pick a late game scaling comp, you could pick an early assassin and try to get picks early with Galio. Go for a nice, or you could pick a Vayne and go for scaling. You have multiple options that you can pick here, and I think that's very good. You're going to see the Jayce picked on the side of LSB. I like that. It's a good takeaway. At least it looks like they're picking the Jayce. It looks like Jayce will probably get locked in. Oh, we're going to see a last minute switch to Riven here. Very interesting. Riven has the ability to go in numerous places. We've seen Riven jungle in NA. We've seen Riven mid lane. There's been some Riven. There's Riven top lane. She really just doesn't go in the bot lane at all. But like pretty much anywhere else, she can flex. So I like this pick. I think that you kind of wanna like you're both in this weird scenario where like you kind of want to force RY like to if you're LSB, right? You kind of want to build a pokey comp with some tanky bruisers, and if you're RY, you just want to force LSB into a position where they have to pick something that's like not 100% standard. So I think that there's a lot of options here, and I think that this is both a very good pick going into both drafts. Like I said, I like the flexibility that LSB have too, and I think that same with RY. And so I really like where this draft is, right? Because unlike other drafts we've seen, there really is no giveaway of what you're going to do, and I think that's very good. And then we see the Jayce immediate lock-in. Okay. I guess it doesn't really. So this definitely does live in the Riven's options. He's either going. Jayce is probably going to go. Jayce could go top, but he'll probably go mid. He's much better in mid, in my opinion. I think that like just the ability to protect himself early game, also like the ability to like he's such a big impact in like team fights, and like poke damage is really good. So yeah, I like the Jayce pick, and I think that combos well. That being said, LSB's team comp is a little bit squishy. You're kind of lacking in like a tank if you put the Karma in the support lane, because you can't really put Karma in mid because you want to have Jayce mid. So I'd like to see this Riven go jungle, and then put like a Darius or Garen. I don't know why. Or Darius top lane. That's why I said Darius. Garen and Darius. Yeah. Other than that, I think this does limit. Like I was saying, I was like, oh yeah, like the Riven pick, it keeps options open. And this is kind of the weird scenario you're in his blue side where you basically have to commit to a role now. You're like, once you've picked, you kind of have to like commit to who's gonna play what, and you kind of gotta like make people play roles, and you start getting that around that third pick. So I think it's a pretty big giveaway that Karma's going to support now that you've picked Jayce, and I think it's a big giveaway that Jayce is probably gonna go mid, which means that like just depending on the LSB pick, right? They either get to counterpick your jungler or counterpick your ADC, right? Yes, because it's 1-2-1. Yeah, because it's Snake. Yeah, so I think that RY is in a good position because you can either shut down the jungler with a counterpick or their ADC with a counterpick, and you've still got a lot of options. That being said, we will see what they pick. And it looks like they're not going to opt for the jungler counterpick unless this is a Wukong top. If this is a Wukong jungle, I don't like it. I think that you would much rather pick like a bruiser top laner. Camille's been banned. And Riven was taken. So like a Darius, like somebody like a Gragas maybe. You know, just somebody with like the ability to just kind of have some CC and like, you know, just be there and be a bruiser. Deal some damage, but you know, also tank a little bit. Right, like Galio will be a good tank if he goes support. So yeah, because like then you have this option of where you can like, then that allows you to basically say like, LSB you can pick an ADC, but we get the counter pick, or you can pick a jungler and we get the counter pick, or like you know you can pick like an ADC, you can pick a jungler, you can see LSB's full comp, and then decide if you want to flex the Zig spot, put the Galio mid, and then like pick another support. And so I really hope that this and that's why I really don't like this Wukong jungle pick, right? Because now if you're picking for LSB, you can be like, okay, if the Wukong goes jungle, we can counter pick that. And then they don't have to pick an ADC until the last comp, which means that if they pick an ADC that you don't want to play the counter matchup into, right? If Luna picks like a mid laner, or no, if Luna picks like a jungler or like another. This is weird. So Wukong can either go jungle or top lane, right? So if they pick another jungler, then they kind of have the advantage there. Because Yeah, they already have a support, so they can just counterpick the jungler. And then they pick the ADC, and they still get the ADC counterpick. Yeah, you give up the option for a top lane counterpick, which you kind of already have. And I'm trying to contemplate this because like I just don't feel like Wukong's the right pick here unless you're putting him top lane. And like even you kind of have to believe that Wukong top lane is a matchup in Riven. Unless you think that Riven is going into the jungle and you've already got the jungle counterpick. Yeah, I think I would have preferred to see a Darius. Because a Darius won't lose to the Riven even if she goes in the top lane. And the Darius can't be counterpicked that easily if Riven does go jungle. And then you still have the Wukong available. Like, I doubt they'll ban it. Wukong doesn't feel like a prime ban target in this series. Rengar has been, like, Rengar, Kha'Zix, and Jin Zhao have been more popular in this series. Banning the Darius makes me think that this Wukong is going top lane. Because why else would you ban him? Because, like, he's a good pick for you guys. Banning the Yasuo, interesting. I'm not sure why they'd ban the Yasuo, unless you think that there's going to be a Yasuo pivot in this game. But I don't feel like there is space for a Yasuo in RY's comp, because I think that they've given away. I think the Darius ban to me gives away that the Wukong is going to go top lane. We'll see if my read's wrong. I could just be being a dumbass. And the Jax. So we'll see. What do they pick on the side of RY here? Yes, this is a scenario where I would have rather seen Wukong picked here, because this like means that unless they have a plan, I think I would have rather seen Wukong picked here. RY's gonna have a really specific plan for me to like this. I think that I would have much rather. Yeah, so I was right. I had the read if Luna does lock this in. Okay, so I did have the read. Wukong is going top lane. Yeah, so you gave up. If Wukong is going top lane, then that's okay, right? Because then you still have the ADC counter pick if you want it, right? You could always lean AP heavy. Do I like Wukong top lane? We'll see. Wukong top lane could be interesting. I'm not sure if I like the matchup. I think that Wukong top lane falls more prey to a counter pick, put Riven jungle, than something like a Darius. And that's why I think I would have rather have seen it. This has been a pretty good draft from RY, though. I really like it. What are we going to see Eugen pick here? The Jarvan? Okay. So Jarvan's going to be the jungler then. So they aren't going to put the Riven jungler. And so what is Rabbit going to pick for an ADC? Kai'Sa, if they're looking traditional. Vayne is also very good. I just feel like Vayne doesn't synergize with this comp as much as you'd like, you know. But she does have good poke ability. She's really strong in the late game, and she can just kind of carry you to victory. Karma will have enough CC. Jayce will have enough ability to poke down. So yeah. That being said, on the side of RY, I want to see them pick an early game, like aggressive AD carry. Or they can kick the Akali. So it's going to be a Ziggs Darius or Ziggs Galio bot. Interesting. This is a really interesting call from RY. I think it's very, very interesting because it lacks like even when mages are played bot lane, like the Corki. Maybe Corki was actually the pick here. I would have liked to have seen a Corki, I think. But like even when mages are traditionally played in the bot lane in Wild Rift, like compared to how I don't think they're played that much in League. I haven't paid attention to the meta, they might be. But it's I think that this is an interesting spot that you've put yourself into, because you have 3 assassins, 1 tank, and 1 like hard carry. Like, you're not positioned to take advantage of the fact that LSB's comp has no dedicated tank. Like, LSB's comp is extremely squishy, right? Which is why I would have liked to have seen the Riven go jungle and pick a tanky top laner, like the Gragas. This is just a weird ass. Yeah, so I would have liked to see LSB have a tank here. And I would have liked to have seen RY pick like a Corki or like a more traditional ADC. But yeah, it looks like we're going to see the bot duo be all AP. And then mid will go, yeah. Very weird, very weird. Yeah, I like the ability to pivot. I think I think that RY. I don't know much about Jarvan, which is the problem. But I think that all other factors combined, I favor RY. Wait. Curious. So you're putting Jarvan in the top lane? Then why not pick like a Gragas? Okay, there's got to be a reason for the Jarvan pick. So I'm not gonna blast him yet. I want to hold off on that. But this is one of those things where I was like, LSB does have a creative comp, and maybe the Jarvan is what they need to like take the W. So we are jumping into the game. Oh, and boy, we are about to get an ad. Oh boy. Yeah. So the Jarvan is definitely interesting, but I want to see it. That is an interesting point there, though. We just saw Luna try to bomb the Vayne in the bush. She just kind of rolls away. I think that a lot of the idea that like Ziggs can take space kind of does fall away in front of Vayne, because she does have a good amount of mobility with her ultimate and her first ability to roll. Yeah. That being said, Galio is cracked level 1. Just his wing blast thing, it does a lot of damage. Yeah. So that being said, what I'd like to see from RY in the early game, the RY kind of needs to get an advantage. Unfortunately, Akali can't really do much. She's going to get zoned out by the Jayce. But I'd like to try to see her at least, level to 5 and try to just kill that Jayce on 5. I'd like to see them also try to take an early advantage bot, because if Vayne starts scaling, you're going to start losing. I don't know much about this top lane matchup. I'm not a Jarvan 4 expert. But yeah, we'll see. So we're seeing the problem, right? Jayce has the ability to play at range, which means that Akali is immediately going to kind of lose that matchup, because she doesn't have any ability to play at range until like level 3, or actually I'd say like level 5. So that's when her ability cooldowns start getting a little better. We can see Rengar is kind of hunting in the bush, and it looks like Kiri's going to try to contest the Scuttle Crab. Doe sees it with the ward and backs off. Bit interesting that they just gave that up for free. Maybe they just thought because they were losing mid lane, they were worried about the Jayce pivot. But that is just kind of giving up the scuttles. In fact, like that recall gives up, I'd say, both scuttles for free. Oh, but it looks like Riven is not going to immediately take the scuttle. Oh, come on, Riven. Take the Scuttle Crab. And there we go. We see Zero all-inning level 4. Probably wanted to all-in level 5, but I expect that to happen anyways. Good back off to not get killed by Kiri. Bot lane is looking relatively even. Ziggs is about 30 gold behind, but whatever. The Jayce has about a 30 or 300 gold lead, and the Wukong has about 100. That's where you can see the fact that Akali's been pushed under tower a lot. She had to wait to get that gold to catch up a little bit. But yeah, it looks like even then there's only a small advantage inside of RY LSB, and it's kind of flip-flopping back and forth. Right, we're looking at a big micro game right now, and it's pretty hard to see that if you're not focusing on one player. This is one of those games where I'd love to see the top lane. I think Wukong versus Jarvan 4 could be Jarvan could be a really interesting matchup. That we're seeing literally none of the matchups. Like we can see these being pushed under tower, but we haven't been able to see anything about why. And I wish we saw the why. I probably should have updated my notes. So the things that I noticed, draft seems even for both teams. The late draft pivot from RY, I think it could have been done better. Could have been better. And I would like to see more tanks on both sides. Actually, I would like to see a tank on LSB and a tankier and a bruiser on RY. I don't think Wukong is more of a bruiser. I think he's more of a assassin. They've really got this triple assassin comp going. So if they can't really do any burst damage, I worry for them. This is a very interesting move, swapping the Akali bot lane. Just trying to maybe force the Vayne to play back a little bit, especially before the dragon. So yeah, it looks like we're going to see a dragon contest relatively soon here. You can see that there's ward outside the dragon pit, but looking in for RY. It looks like the scuttle crab. And then there's some vision outside the bush, and then inside the pit for LSB. The outside the bush is for both LSB and RY. And Ziggs is just a wave clearing monster. Yeah, so now I really want to see how these first objectives are taken. So everybody's hit level 5 at the very least. So ult should be online. So I want to see what exactly happens here. But it looks like we're just kind of positioning, and it looks like RY has started, and Ziggs is about to get flashed on. So it looks like Riven dashes over into the pit, and then flashes onto Ziggs and tries to hit him and hits him with a stun. In the meantime, Salem hits. Who does he hit with? Oh, Salem doesn't hit the most important target with the. Why are we watching Doe, by the way? We know he's soloing Nerf Herald. Okay, so we're gonna watch Eugen flash to avoid the taunt, which is really good because it secures this kill onto Luna. Boom, 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 and then Illusion will flash over to get the kill. And now you've got this weird position where there is really only one exit for RY out the back, which means that they really have no chance to contest this dragon at all. Especially, you don't want to contest this 4v2. You know, your Vanguard is getting the Rift Herald, you're trading for objectives, just don't give over anymore. So as long as LS or RY can get a plate or two from the Rift Herald, it should be about even. That being said, it's kind of on Doe to really find a good opportunity. Because as long as there's a good opportunity to use the Rift Herald, RY should be able to come back and close this gap immediately, honestly. What are we looking at? 700 gold difference. The Wukong is ahead by about 150, it looks like. The junglers are about even. Jayce is ahead about 600. Vayne's ahead about 5. And then the supports are about even. So yeah, that being said, you really like where this gold difference is if you're LSB. It's on your carry. Your Vayne and your Jayce, who are going to carry you to the late game. Once Jayce hits that late game, he's going to start doing massive damage. You know, he's like, his shock blast is like pew 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 with like a line in between it. Will do a ton of damage. And then Vayne obviously just does a lot of damage. That first item is also huge for her. But we're obviously looking for that. I think it's probably like 2.5 item power spike. Yeah. This lane swap is really... I have no idea what RY is doing with their lane swaps, right? Because first we saw the Akali go bot. Now we're seeing the Akali and the Wukong switch, leaving the two AP players, Luna, Salem mid. It feels very weird. Like, why are you not just playing the bot lane matchup? Like, unless you feel like you're going to lose it that hard, which I don't think you do. Like, even if Ziggs can't deal damage to Eugen, you're still zoning them off. Like, you're still zoning Eugen off. So, like, unless you think that Ratel won't get dived or, like, has the ability to survive with his clone, I don't think it's worth it at all. Plus, like, look at where Ratel is. He's just sitting under the bottom of tower, and Salem and Luna aren't converting anything here. Like, what is the point? They're just kind of sitting in mid lane. And this is where it kind of gets weird. Where I said I wasn't sure about the Wukong top earlier is because of situations like this where you're like, what's the point now? Because, like, if this was a Darius, you could just sit him top lane and you wouldn't have to deal with these weird rule swaps. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's too much, like, long game macro play here that doesn't make sense. Right? These swaps aren't gaining you anything, so why do them? You know, why not just try to force the opponents under tower, right? Unless, see, the only reason I can think to do this is to, like, try to push mid tower. But the Rift Herald has been, like, held for so long. Like, you haven't been dealing poke damage to Jayce. You just went back because you wanted to buy. So, like, were you just waiting for Jayce to keep farming? And see, now the Rift Herald gets dropped. But, like, you're not going to be able to take a turret with this. Ziggs doesn't deal that much damage. Yep, like I said. And what is this ult from Salem, by the way? Doe isn't close to dying. So if your team's not going to engage, why are you just ulting it? Like, that's a big waste of an ult by Salem. Like, right there, these macro plays that don't make sense. Like, you know, you get 2 plates and that's it. But, like, you really wanted that tower. So that being said, let's follow Glow. So Glow is, where is he? Oh, Glow is up here. Okay, so Glow gets Zoe and Luna, but Doe flashes out. Luna does not have flash. So, yeah. They're kind of stuck in this Coliseum, but, you know, you've got the entire team around you, you're gonna die. Plus that taunt into the Ziggs ult is huge. Oh, Karma. This is this is huge from Karma, right? If you look at the opposing team, she gets a long range CC into all of them, get stunned and pulled in the middle. Illusion just jumps in, and boom, easy kill. Now let's watch Akali, okay? Because Akali goes in onto Yujin 0, and then they go. Who is that? I can't tell. Is it spinning? Oh, it's Wukong. Okay, and then 0 goes in, kills Yujin. Is he going to get traded back for this? It looks like it. Yeah, so 0 gets traded back for this, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. And Illusion trades 1-for-1, so it's a 2-for-2. And it is, yeah, so it's just a 2-for-2. I don't like that on the side of RY. It felt like it could have easily been a 2-for-3 for you guys. Like, you could have lost another player. You really only got turret plating. Like, you would have much rather just continued to, like wait. And, like, even then, what was the point of this ult by Salem? Right, like, Glow only gets killed because he's just in the middle of nowhere. Doe, like, are you retreating or are you not? You know, like, you jump in, you jump out, you're just kind of sitting there. Oh, trying to, like, chip damage? Like, it's whatever. I mean, I think the Wukong does a good job here, just kind of keeping everyone away. But, like, if LSB actually, like, dived on this one, or, like, went in as a team, this should have been 3-4 kills easily. I don't know, that felt like a bad fight from RY. Just really no plan. Yeah. The Karma ult actually came in clutch there. I really liked it. I think Karma's doing pretty well. Not a Karma truther yet, not sold, but she definitely seems to be doing well for herself in this game. Are they gonna do anything else with Salem? He's gonna flash out. Yeah, so nothing there. That being said, they do get the tower, which evens up the gold lead a bit, but now it's not. It's still, you know, 1K ahead for LSB. Yeah, so I mean, I think LSB is massively favored here. Even though I talk about, like, trading a lot and how I like trading, I think that if you're not trading late enough, like 5 minutes into the game, you don't want to be making trades if you're the losing team, because then the effective gold difference is a lot bigger. You know, not many people have items built. If you're trading in the late game, once everybody has every item built, it doesn't matter. You know, the effective gold difference is 0. Yeah, so LSB just doing their thing, I guess. So it's now time for the Ocean Dragon and second Rift Herald fights. I think if you're LSB, you prioritize the Ocean Dragon because you just want scaling, and the dragons only get better as the game goes on. They only scale. That being said, I don't think the Rift Herald is necessarily bad on the side of LSB either. It's definitely useful. Like, you want that mid tower to get some, but like, you want your Vayne to kill the Rift Herald, and if it's contested, you can't really do that. So you do like to take a team fight. But like, LSB just has so much control here, and I really like it. Are they just not going to take the objective? Okay, let's see. Interesting. So they started up and they just kind of back off. It looks like they just wanted the Jayce to back off because he was close to a second item, which is fair. And it looks like he should get back in time for this fight as well. And so it looks like everybody's just going to keep kind of leashing the dragon. Are you really going to just leave Thank God. It's very much a bad idea to leave the assassin and ADC right there with the support that distance away. But it looks like they have started the Ocean Drake actually though, and they just baited it again. It feels like LSB is fishing here. They're just kind of like fishing for an engage. They know they're ahead. They want to like take advantage of it. If you look at the mid lane, or actually like if you let's see the gold difference here. If you look at the Vayne over the Ziggs, there's a big gold difference. If you look at the Jayce to the Akali, it's only 100, but like that's still, I mean, I'd say that's a pretty good amount. And other than that, it's pretty even. It looks like the supports have a bit of a difference, and so does the top lane, but it's very small. Okay, interesting. So they're just gonna trade here. It looks like. So while the RY team goes to take the Ocean Drake, they're just gonna trade. Say we want a Rift Herald and possibly a turret. And I mean, this is fair. You know, I think it's a good trade. It's one dragon on each side, but they're going to get the tower, it looks like, too, which I think makes this an infinitely better trade. Yeah, so great play by LSB, right? RY gets the Drake. Oh, do they get a tower on the bot lane, too? Yeah, it looks like they got the tower on the bot lane. Alright, I can't tell. Is there a notification? Yes, they do. Okay. Yeah, so this is a pretty okay trade, I think. I mean, 1 for 1, it doesn't really increase or decrease the gold lead. The gold lead is still about a C, like a K, and that's it. Yeah, so I mean, it's a trade. It accelerates to the purple line, but I don't think there's any difference. Like, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. That being said, I would like to see the Rift Heralds used to extend the lead. Try to force a fight in mid, or like take the mid turret or something. Engage onto Jayce. But there's 0 flashes in, goes in, Jayce flashes out. And that's a really good stasis, not to take damage. So, going back, look at that. He flashes out. Really good stasis here. And I don't know why you would chuck your ult if you're Luna. Your teammate should tell you that he's in stasis. You know, that should be like, oh, Jayce stasis. Like, it's been a few seconds, hasn't it? It's been like maybe a second or two. Maybe Luna was already targeting it. I can't really tell. Let's see. We'll watch. So, Jayce goes into stasis. 1 Mississippi. Yeah. So, it looks like Luna had already targeted the ult. But, like, that's just a big waste there, unfortunately. So is the bouncing grenade. Glow gets her off Salem, which is good. And it looks like, see, now that Akali's used all of her cooldowns, she's kind of got to back out. And so now you're in this problematic scenario where, like, well, we engaged for nothing. So if they can take a fight before the Ziggs ult comes back online, I'd like to see that. Otherwise, just kind of stay, keep farming, and aim for like the next map objective or the next 5v5. Or try to get that mid turret down. I'm a mid turret truther, baby. Kill that shit. Yeah, so it looks like they're gonna try to force the bottom turret here. Yeah. Bottom turret is fine. I'm like I said, I'm big on mid. This is the second time Jayce has gotten caught out. Caught out by the Rengar, you're gonna get stunned up, and then taunted, and then he's dead. Yeah. So, illusion, bad positioning. There we go. Let's see, anything happening? Nope. Just continuing to farm. I like the lean towards the top side of the map to try to get the tower, go aggro, clear the wave. Make sure that there's none coming in. Yeah. Now, if we look at this, the gold lead has shifted to the side of RY because of the tower take. That's what, 800 gold it looks like? Yeah, so 800 gold, basically 900, to the side of RY for that tower take. And yeah, I don't know. I feel this is another reason that I don't like trying to take bottom turrets. I think you should take the mid turret first, is because it opens up space to take the top and the bottom turret. When you take the mid turret first, gotta pull up MS Paint, baby. You've got your square map, right? Boom, 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 boom. Then you've got, let's just say, one line of turrets here, two lines of turrets here, and then the inhibitors, and then the core. And then on the opposing team, let's use gray to differentiate. Probably should have used red and blue. 2, 3, and then the core. Ignore the fact that it's not scaled correctly. When you take, say, for example, this turret, you can't as easily get over to this turret to protect it. This is why I say that you should have dropped the Rift Herald in mid, our little purple bug right here, and gone for the mid turret. Because then, if RY try to push this top turret in, you get more. You can easily just as easily go up here and protect it. The other thing is, I think that the amount of space that each turret gives you is really important, right? So if you look at the bottom turrets, they basically cover and protect this space on the map. Same with the top lane turrets. They cover and protect this space. However, the mid turrets, up until the tier 2, basically protect this space. And this space, this area, is a lot bigger than this area here and this area here. So that's why these turrets are so important, is because they protect more space. And that's why I think they should have taken the mid turret. But that's just me. It could have been, they were worried about, like, we get a good replay here, though, don't we? It could have been they were worried about, like, say, like the team in mid or, like, the team rotating. But I think that you should at least make the attempt to take mid. That being said, guaranteed gold in the scenario that you are of RY is probably better. You just got to be much more ready to defend the tower. And then Illusion just gets caught out here. This is just, you're in a bad position, you're nowhere near your team. Even walking near that bush while there is a Rengar on the map, I think is a bad idea. It will be very interesting. That being said, it looks like the gold lead is now even. I will be very interested to see how R or LSB can win this game. Because I know they do, but I don't see them converting here. Because, like, when you look at the gold too, right? They're down a tower, and they're, like, down in that much amount of gold. So, like, as long as they can take that, I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, what I was trying to say is, I think it's interesting to see how LSB will take this game. Because if you're RY, you're just protecting these towers with your life. Like, you don't really care about anything else. Because LSB has no way into this game without killing a tower. So as long as you, like, anytime you take a map objective, you trade for a tower, you will win this game. So as long as you protect that mid-tier 1, I think specifically, this one, you're just protecting so much space. Yeah, so that is why I think RY should be winning this game. They've got, even though it's a small one, a gold lead, but they've got a big tower lead, which is what's really important. It's also interesting that like, the fact that it's even while LSB are down a turret means that they have a natural gold lead advantage somewhere. I'm kind of wondering where they got that from, right? Because 3 kills should be even. So it means that they've been farming more and like just killing more minions, which I think is good to notice. Yeah, so I don't know. I think RY is massively favored here. I don't see how you I see how you can lose this game. Taking a singular bad fight will obviously lose you this game. But if you're RY, you would just kind of like, as long as you focus on the carries, the squishies, you win this game, right? You just say, okay, well, as long as we don't let you get like the Infernal Dragon or like a tower, we just play for a team fight, we kill your squishies, we win the game. They have really no like tanks. And so like, if you get a good engage, you'll get that win. Good chip damage onto Luna. Yeah. We can see a lot of wards around the Dragon Pit. The Infernal Dragon is probably the best in the game, so it makes sense. Good engage onto Wukong. Galio, are we not ulting? Okay, so it looks like the Galio is waiting for the Rengar on the flank. Let's see if he gets punished by this. I feel like this is... I feel like it's massively punishable. This Galio, like... Yeah, like... I don't know. I feel like you should have ulted earlier. While you still had a bit of an advantage of surprise, right? Because when he immediately goes in, he gets a knock-up, which means that your ult has, I think, more time to connect. Like, you should be ulting it immediately here. And, like, there's no way that Rengar is going to crowd control them to stay in your ultimate. He doesn't have that ability. So, I don't see what the plan is here. Good stasis, dodging that Jax blast. Yeah, just like a pretty pokey team fight. Zero doesn't get anything there. I would have liked to see the all-in. Eugen? I'm sorry, what? What is Eugen? Okay, we're gonna go back here. This is weird to me. Why are you running into the smoke? So like Salem and Doe are pretty low, so they're getting out. They run into Kiri on the way in, though. Who starts focusing on him? Who starts focusing on who? What? Like Wukong or Tell? Yeah, but Eugen, right? When a Akali drops the smoke and you know she's sitting in it, why do you walk in and roll in? Like the roll is supposed to be your escape. So you would walk in, wait for the Akali to do something stupid like attack you, and then roll out and hit her a few times, walk back in, and then once you've baited that and you've gotten her low enough, you can then use your stasis to kill her. Right? Like, why just walk in? Why roll in specifically? Because now you're forced to use your stasis. And, like, even though Akali can use her stasis, you're kind of putting your team in a bad position. Then again, I don't think you have to worry about it because Salem used his ult already. Yeah, I suppose it's worth it if you're just going to collapse onto the Akali. But then you kind of lose any sense of a front line. So, yeah. You are willing to take that trade, though, because then you're ahead. It basically gives you the ability to force Infernal, and Infernal is huge. Good job on Ziggs, making sure to clear the wave before he backs. If that mid turret goes down, you know you're losing Infernal. Like, you don't want to lose anything else. And it looks like Rengar and Jayce just kind of played a little bit of footsies, called it a day. Oh, I can't believe it's 40 minutes. It feels like I've been going faster. I don't know, this game feels really weird. It feels like it's been a lot about like the default and the engages. And like it's been very much a close game, like how they're trading, how they're playing. And I really like that. I think that both teams have made pretty okay adjustments, at the very least. I now see why Galio ults. So he's trying to get out of the Jarvan ult. That explains a lot more. So you'll see... No, he already was ulting. So did Glow just waste his ult for no reason? Huh. That's weird interaction. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of. I feel like I wasn't a fan of this fight. It feels like there's two very different fights going on, and neither team decided which one they wanted to fight. And LSB came out on top because their positioning was better, right? You can see that their front line is up here. You know, Kiri and Illusion, and like Glow's immediately coming back. Glow was up here too, right? You can see their front line's up here, their back line's back here. The front line's up here. Like the front line is Galio. If Galio's not here, you have no front line. And once Galio just kind of leaves, you're all stranded in shark-infested waters, to say the least. Yeah. Good bush check by Kiri. And it looks like LSB is going to try to force Baron, or no, it's clearing out wards. Clearing out wards, clearing out vision. I mean, it is free gold. If you do see a ward and you have time, clear it out. It's free gold, it denies the enemy. Do they have Vision of Doe? They do. Kiri has Vision of Doe. I don't like this. What? Your Vayne's over here. There should be at least one person in this area, this general area. I don't like. There's 3 ADCs on the enemy team. There's 3 ADCs plus a global ultimate. Why are you leaving your ADC alone? Why is your ADC off in the corner? Let's see. How much vision do they have? Is it Kali clearing wave? Okay, Kali's clearing wave. They have Vision of Doe. And they know that Wukong was up near Baron. I'm still not a fan, but like, I'll give it to him. There's only one possible play. There's only one way. There's only one assassin that can be there. So yeah, I think it's fair. So good engage on Galio, getting the Jarvan. And that's a nice Karma ultimate, stopping the dive. You can see, right, like, it looks like they actually try to engage onto Kiri. Okay, so then they change their target onto the Glow, the Jarvan. But then there's a really nice ult, knocking everyone in. Good Wukong, and immediate follow-up by the Galio. This Karma was out of that. Why did she walk back in? Yeah, so the Karma is out and walks back in to try to preserve the ult, it looks like. Or gets at least the res on. No, they don't. I don't know why you're doing that. It's Karma. She just walks back in. Give it up there, you know. Kiri's gonna take a good amount of damage, but a good honey fruit means that he's not gonna die. So 57 to 56. I think LSB is favored here. Taking a game stand analysis, right? So the Vayne is ahead, which is insanely good. The Karma is behind. Doesn't matter. It's a support duel. I mean, like, doesn't matter in the sense of, like, I think once Karma gets her, like, first and a half items, she just, like, she's not intent to deal damage. She's there to, like, do a fuckload of CC. And she's got, like, her boots, she's got Ardent Sensor, she's got some magic damage, like, she'll be fine. Jarvan's ahead, Riven's behind, and Jayce is about even, it looks like. Or no, Jayce is way fucking far ahead. Yeah, LSB is favored. You know, if there was only, like, the carries on LSB have basically been even or ahead the entire game. And I think that's been the difference maker. Like, the gold has just been on the impactful parts of the team. Yeah, that was a good flash by Doge to get out of there, not get hit by the Jarvan ult. I'd like to see LSB start pushing out waves. It feels like a lot of the times the waves for LSB, because Zero is clearing them, they're clearing them like in here or in here, where the waves are always on this side of the map. I'd like to see waves start being here where they meet, or being here where they meet, right? Start pushing these waves in further so that they're like along this line. We're doing some footsies, poking. Vayne's not starting Baron, thank God. And now it looks like they're gonna maybe start taking Baron or just fake it. They're gonna dash through, and it looks like they're going after Doe in this red buff. Kiri backs out. Good poke by Jayce. I just love seeing Jayce shock blast. Like it's just so satisfying watching the enemy's health go down. Okay, so we're looking at an Elder Cloud Dragon. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Cloud Dragon is one of the worst buffs in the game late game because everyone already has movement speed, and you can get to any objective you want. Early game, I will be a Cloud Dragon truther and say that it's probably the second best buff early game beside Infernal. But I think that's just my coked up brain. So yeah. Are we gonna just take another fight in mid? This game feels to me like there's going to be a fight around either like mid or like a Baron or Dragon. So it's not going to be like, if one team gets to an inhibitor, they're going to win. But like it feels like it won't get to that point without like a big fight first. And it feels like neither team wants to take a fight in either tower, specifically because the opposing team has an advantage. So I feel like I'm just waiting for this big fight to pop off. And it feels like it should be soon, because the sooner it is for LSB, the better. Yeah, so it looks like they're going to start up the dragon, and they're just starting to chunk it. I like Eugen's positioning here. You can see where he's kind of sitting. He's sitting right here, where he has basically 4 or 5, right? He's maximizing the options of escape. Because if he was down here, he only has. We're gonna do this again. It's time for the shitty dragon pit. Boom. And then you've got like boom, boom. And then you've got like boom. Yeah, so this will be who is the name? What was this? It's Eugen, right? Yes, this will be Eugen. So here Eugen has multiple options of escape. He can go in this way. He can go up into the enemy team. He can always go back. He can kind of roll out towards his towers. He could always roll in towards the dragon pit and then try to like flash over later or like maneuver around this way. But like this is much better than if he was standing, say, this is much better than if he was standing here in my eyes, right? Because here you're basically limited to 3 directions. Like you're going forward, you're going back, or you're going to the side. Like you could roll this way if you wanted to, but like it gets you nothing. And like if you're flashing over here, I don't think you want to flash this far because this area isn't safe. You want to go to a place that's safe, right? And even though I mentioned that you could roll this direction, I think it's safe enough if you can see it. If you can see it, it's safe. Is my eyes. So yeah. I think that's a much better positioning from Eugen than I've seen like North American ADCs. They've been positioned like in this spot. I like this spot a lot better. Right, you can see that he's kind of hovering, and once he sees the engagement, he starts backing into this spot, immediately moving back here, right, where he's got like 3 different options of escape. Right, because he sees all of the team over here, so it's like, oh, I'm just going to roll this way, roll into the Akali, take the 1v1, and because I can start chunking her, I will start winning. Galio hits a big heroic entrance, but Karma ult is going to be nutty. Wait, what happened there? Did it not hit anyone? Like, what? Oh, I mean, I guess it just didn't do anything. Maybe it was Galio that, like, protected them? I can't tell why the Karma ult just kind of fizzled here. Yeah, I think it has to do with the Galio protection. Galio's gonna hit a big engage onto the, what, Jarvan? Yeah, that's Jarvan. Knock up Jarvan. But, like, Eugen's just chunking people. Okay, we're gonna slow this fight down, okay? And we're gonna watch Eugen, because I really like how he plays this fight. Boom, he immediately rolls out of the Galio ultimate, continues to attack. When he sees that the Akali is in stasis, he backs off to a safer range, right? You're kind of staying out of the Akali. Glow gets in the way, I like that. And then Eugen continues to just chunk people down. Get out of the Ziggs ultimate, just start chunking Salem. Oh, it's so creamy. Did you see this? Look at this. Look at his health. Boom. Boom. Gonna get exhausted here. Good exhaust to make sure that he's not killing everyone. But as soon as this exhaust wears off, you're all dead. Yeah, and then, unfortunately, it looks like the rest of the team's gonna get out. So then it looks like they should try to take the dragon. So we're gonna move back. This time I want to watch. We could have watched this side of the fight. I want to watch this side of the fight. Oh, this is too far forward. So we're gonna see Kiri. Kiri goes on Ratel. Notices that he kind of gets rid of it, and it's a double, which is a good job. Going to immediately go into Doe and Luna. So you'll notice that he focuses Luna, right? One, because Luna is the carry, and two, because Doe has the revive, the, like, I don't know what it's called, the res item, the second lifers, you know. And then immediately once he sees that the Akali is dead, he starts immediately focusing with his team, right? This is really good focus fire and really good coordination, because if he just kind of sits over here, he's going to die. So really good coordination. Now it's time to follow everybody's favorite player that I considered Zero. So 0, 1. Let's walk through this. Okay, 0 is kind of in a weird spot because Rengar already came in from this direction, so now LSB kind of has it blocked off. Which means he's kind of on his own. Bad positioning, honestly. Eugen chunks him. Forced to use stasis, Galio will ult over. So now that he comes out of stasis, what does he do? He just sits there and gets killed by Jayce. You have flash. I don't know what that was. Yeah, so that was just weird. But yeah, pretty good play by LSB, honestly. They really took advantage of how that fight was dictated. I think that Kiri was I think that Eugen was the carry in that fight, right? He did a lot of damage. I also noted, like, I think his positioning was really good. And, like, I think that I think that because of how he positioned, he forced a Zero to go in a way that he didn't want to go. Which meant that Zero was in this weird scenario where they were just kind of dead once they came out. I feel like this has happened to Zero, like, twice now, where, like, they've been on this Akali and, like, they just kind of come out and they're dead. I don't like Zero on the Akali. I don't like Zero on these, like, non-AP, like the Assassin. Like, basically the non-AP mages. I feel like they have been very poor on them. But yeah. So, just moving on. Jayce is immediately taking the tower, which is good. I like that. You can see that they're immediately pushing to end game, it feels like. They should be able to get this tower too. I don't know why RY didn't, like, immediately back. And, like, look at this. They're just gonna, like, they're gonna take this 2v2 in mid lane, which is a guaranteed tower. Like, even if you die as Kiri, you just get the tower, and, like, I mean, they should be able to finish here almost. Yeah, that's That's really well played from our LSB, I think. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I felt like it was just going to be like a fight where, like, once somebody gets enough picks, they're just going to be able to end the game. Yeah, I mean, really well played from LSB. I liked how they played it. That being said, we will think about what happened here, right? What did I not like? What was Luna on? Luna was on the Ziggs. The Ziggs was okay, I'm not gonna lie. But I think that, so takeaways, right? We are going to copy this and paste it, as they say. The good old Control X, Control V. Gotta take all my, and then Control V. So 0, Luna weren't very impressive. Game 3. 0 looked really bad, honestly. I didn't like how 0 looked like 0 looked bad. Luna was okay. I'm gonna note that 0 seems like they can't play. 0 seems weak on these non-traditional mid laners, you know, like not the mages, like these more like the Gragas's, like the Ziggs, you know. And so, like, I think that e.g. Gragas Ziggs, I think that is a weakness that you can exploit if you want to beat RY. So if you're looking to beat RY, right, try to take advantage of this Gragas Ziggs weakness. Kiriani carry champ. What was he on? He was on the Riven. Riven looked average. I mean, hopefully we see the scoreboard. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the scoreboard real quick. Okay, let's look at the scoreboard. 102. Yeah. Yeah, like it was okay. I mean, he was behind Doe the entire game. It looks like though. It felt like though. So like, I'm gonna say, game 3. Average Riven game. Average Riven game. Probably overestimated him. Poke versus dive. Do we see any sort of pokey divey comps? I think it wasn't Poke. I think it was Jayce. Like, just don't let them have Jayce. Ban Jayce, honestly, against LSB. Game 3. Jayce seems to be important. Jayce seems to be important. Like, this might not be fit, but, like, I feel like Jayce was... I feel like if Jayce, right, like, it's not dive, it's not poke, it's whether LSB can incorporate Jayce. Right, like if Jayce is able to fit into their team comp, they will play well, I feel like. Online communication, it still felt a little wonky, but I didn't notice anything really bad. Comp might work with a better ADC. Yes, Vayne is good. Like, put your carry on a carry that does damage, right? Like, don't have Eugen on these, like, put Eugen on Ezreal, put Eugen on Vayne. Let your carries carry LSB, right? They've played very well this game. And don't, like, they fixed these two issues, and so I think that's why they won. Yeah. Honestly, this was a very good game. I can't believe I got it done in under an hour 30. But yeah. I'll flash my notes up one last time in case anybody wants to read them. And there we go. Have a good day. Bye.